What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Triple Z. I'm your host, Isaiah Henry. The Atlanta Hawks are on a roll, winning 5 straight games with their latest win coming against the Phoenix Suns, who have been a really good home team, 124-122 Sunday night. Atlanta overcoming a 22-point deficit in the fourth quarter. The Hawks scored 47 points in the fourth. Nickeil Alexander-Walker had a big influence with the offensive firepower, scoring 16 of his 27 points in the final period. He made the 4-point play in the right corner over Dylan Brooks, made another tough layup over Mark Williams for another and one finish. The scoring mentality from Nickeil Alexander-Walker was needed for this comeback. Turnaround fadeaways, bank shot off the glass, attacking off the catch, getting downhill, making and taking high percentage shots. Dyson shot 100% in the fourth, scoring 9 points, grabbed 3 offensive rebounds. Hawks scored 8 points off of that. He just found ways to impact winning. So many other contributors in this Hawks win. Onyeka Okongwu, 27 points, 5 rebounds. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 26 points. Dyson Daniels' full stat line, 11 points, 12 assists, 7 rebounds, 3 steals. Ricochet took a nasty fall in this game after dunking the basketball. You never want to see a player go down like that, but he was able to get up on his own 2 feet and walk back to the locker room. So I hope he's doing well after that nasty fall. He gave you 15 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Asha Newell, the rookie, coming off the bench, 8 points in 9 minutes. With Trae Young out, the Hawks are 8-2. Players are stepping up and embracing new roles on the team. Jalen Johnson is owning his role as a top-tier option. After a near quadruple-double against the Utah Jazz, 31 points, 18 rebounds, 14 assists, 7 steals, he followed that up with 25 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists versus the Phoenix Suns. I love how patient he is with his passing. A couple times versus the Suns, he would take his time waiting for a play to develop and then make the correct read. Dylan Brooks is playing aggressive defense, poking at the ball. Devin Booker comes over to double team. Jalen Johnson doesn't panic and he just waits for Dyson Daniels to cut off the basketball. Or he's leading the fast break, stops at the top of the key. He's holding off long enough for Onyeka Okongwu to get involved in the play and makes a sweet bounce pass to Okongwu for 2 points. In the month of November, with 7 games played, Jalen Johnson is averaging 22 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, shooting 60% from the field, 52% from 3, 75% from the free throw line. The Hawks are 5-2 in that stretch, with an overall record of 9-5 with the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference. Everyone on the Hawks is playing exceptionally well. Dyson Daniels getting steals and deflections, filling up the stat sheets with more ball handling responsibilities. Didn't have a great start to the season, but now he's starting to find his rhythm. Onyeka Okongwu's playing stretch big, shooting 38% from 3 on 4.5 attempts per game. Career high in points. Had the game against Utah, I would like to say, where he made 8 3-pointers, so he is capable of spacing the floor and knocking down the 3 ball. Nickeil Alexander-Walker has to share this lead guard role with Dyson Daniel and has to chip in and help the offense stay above water with Trae Young being out, and he's playing amazing. 17 points a game, the free throw attempts are up, the assists per game is up. This was my favorite offseason signing because we were going to see the best version of Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Luke Kennard and Vit Kurich spacing the floor, both shooting above 40% from 3. The Hawks in the last 2 weeks are top 10 in offense and defense with a net rating of +10. The defense has been really great. It's holding up well, ranking 9th in defensive rating. They're 3rd in steals per game, 8th in opponents' fast break points, so they're getting back in transition, slowing teams down. Opponents are shooting 33% from 3 versus the Atlanta Hawks. The league average is 36, and they're 6th in deflections. Amazing basketball from the Atlanta Hawks. And now with the Hawks being the 4th seed, they're 8-2 without Trae Young. Jalen Johnson is popping off as the 1A option. The question is starting to be asked, are the Atlanta Hawks better without Trae Young? If you ask me, I would say no. While Trae Young does have his flaws, being a smaller, thin guard who's 6'1", 6'2", he isn't a good defender. The turnovers can be, problematic, as well as the inefficiencies and the shot selection. Trae Young is still an all-star, all-NBA caliber point guard in the NBA. He's the 8th, 9th best point guard, wherever you want to position him. He can average 25 and 10. He's one of the best passers, one of the best facilitators in the NBA. So you have to give Trae Young credit there. To be transparent, it's inevitable that the Hawks are going to build around Jalen Johnson. And when you look at Jalen Johnson, he's 6'8", 6'9", whatever you want to say for the size. That's the kind of archetype of player you build around. A wing player who can rebound, who can score, who can facilitate, who can initiate the offense, can switch on the perimeter, can guard 1 through 4, can run the fast break, is athletic, explosive, can, who plays above the rim. Like, Jalen Johnson is a really good player. He's going to be an all-star this year. And if the Hawks, finish as a top 5 seed in the Eastern Conference, he will make an all-NBA team. The man is averaging 22, 10, and 7 in his last, 7 games? Like, that's great numbers on really high efficiency. So Jalen Johnson, with teams, you typically build around, a small forward or a power forward. And those kind of players have a dynamic guard behind them as a duo, as a pairing. So LeBron James, D Wade, LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Chris Middleton, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker. That's the pairing you have when you have a versatile wing player who's, one of the best in the league, and you put a dynamic point guard or shooting guard behind them to make this duo that can win a championship. We've seen this formula win multiple championships in the past for the NBA. When Trae Young comes back from injury, it would be smart for him to just try to fit in and follow along with what Atlanta is doing, what's helping them win games. And what's helping the Atlanta Hawks win games is having Jalen Johnson be the focal point of everything. Like, Jalen Johnson's a damn good player, man. I love his passing. I talked about it earlier in the video, but his passing, to me at least, is his best skill set. Like, the vision he has in the half court and the open court, he can, run the pick and roll, throw the lob pass, find the pocket pass, bounce passes, skip passes to the corner. Like, Jalen Johnson is an excellent passer. So you want to build around that. And for Trae Young, he's trying to get this extension with the Atlanta Hawks. But when you look at it, there's not a lot of teams out there who's in need of a point guard, who's not a plus defender, who's smaller and can have his woes sometimes with the inefficiencies and the shot selections and the turnovers. There's not a big market out there for a point guard like that. Also, you're not trying to pay the 8th, 9th, 10th best point guard $45 to $50 million. You're not trying to do that. So Trae Young has to be aware and has to be real with himself that the market out there in the NBA isn't booming right now. It isn't booming right now. So hopefully he can negotiate with the Atlanta Hawks to come down to a solid number where it fits both parties. And here's the thing with the Hawks. All the cards are in their hands. Because if Trae Young doesn't like the number and decides to test free agency and goes to a different team, if you're the Atlanta Hawks, you're like, okay, when you come back with your new team, we'll give you a tribute video. The Atlanta Hawks will be on their merry way building around Jalen Johnson, and they most likely will have a top 5 pick in the 2026 draft class because the New Orleans Pelicans suck. That's crazy because the Hawks, during the offseason, were building this Hawks team around Trae Young. They were trying to uplift his strengths, putting athletic players around him, versatile players who can switch on the perimeter. You give him a pick and pop big and Kristaps Porzingis who can also protect the rim. And then defensively, you have, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, Onyeka Okongwu, Kristaps Porzingis on the back line. So this was the best team around Trae Young. But to start the season, it was not great. You see him now off the team, and the team is ascending with the 8-2 record. So when Trae Young comes back, the Hawks, maybe they have enough evidence where they say to themselves, like, yeah, we're going to build around Jalen Johnson. Because this has been happening with Jalen Johnson for the past couple of years where he's been showing he can be that kind of guy that can put up 25, 10, and 7 on a night-to-night basis with excellent initiating of the offense and excellent defense. Like Jalen Johnson, he's going to be one of those kind of players in the future. So that's how I feel about the Atlanta Hawks. Thank you for listening to Triple Z. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below if you think the Hawks are better without Trae Young, and should Atlanta build around Jalen Johnson. I'll see you guys next time. Zzz.